So we all sat there last night watching the first round of the NFL draft, and Cam Ward goes #1 overall. And then we knew we could be waiting a while to hear Shedeur Sanders' names, and it was a question if we were going to hear his name at all. We did not. Instead, we had Jackson Dart go in the first round, and Shedeur Sanders is still waiting. Told reporters after the first round of the draft was done that it was a mistake not taking him in the first round, but we'll see how things continue to play out. However, as you take a look at Mike Renner's best available players as we enter the second round of the NFL draft, #1, Mike Green, followed up by Will Johnson, Luther Burden, the next available wide receiver. According to our good friend Mike there, not a single quarterback on that list, including Shedeur Sanders. So Mike Renner does, in fact, have his mock draft out going through the second and third rounds. Mike, let's start with the Browns. They're on the clock at 33. They have another pick coming up at 36, and you do not have Shedeur Sanders at either one of those picks. Why not?
I think if they were to trade down to 5, and if they really loved him, they would have gone from there. Now, obviously, lower stakes here, but I think they just may be looking elsewhere and just looking to add talent for the future. They're in a weird spot from a cap perspective, from a team-building perspective, because they have a bunch of quarterbacks on the roster as it stands right now. 3 already. Adding a 4th, I'm not sure you would even be able to fit him in that room. You'd have to cut someone who's already there. So I have him going Mike Green, the Marshall edge, who fell out of the first round. 10th ranked player on my draft board, the FBS leader in sacks, had a monster Senior Bowl, such a good Senior Bowl that he left after 2 days. It was so good. So a guy who can be another piece to that defensive line to bring it back to the teeth it had a couple years ago. And then Will Johnson, the Michigan corner, who fell out of the first round because of a possible knee injury. But if you just flip on the tape, if he can get back healthy at all, one of these injury red flags, if he comes back healthy, he has some of the best tape in this corner class. His sophomore year, he was the most integral piece to that Michigan national championship team, in my opinion.
You're never going to get me to not like some best conference player in Mike Green. So I'm with you there, Mike. But as we talked about this before, if you're the Browns, you have a chance now to stockpile weapons on offense, too. You can go Luther Burden. You can also go running back with those top 2 second-round picks. And we've seen them move down and trade and wheel and deal. Why not move back up and get Shedeur Sanders? Now you have offensive pieces for him to play with. The defense is going to be stout, but I love the fact you double down on one side of the football, defense. You got the edge rusher, and you have the cornerback. I know people are worried about his degenerative knee or whatnot, but we saw running back Tyjae Spears have no ACL, and people were worried about that. He fell in the draft, and he had a fantastic rookie season with the Tennessee Titans.
So let me ask you this. If you're the Browns and you're on the clock, do you take Shedeur Sanders at 33? Do you wait to try to see if he's there at 36?
Clearly, the league is making a statement, right, by allowing this kid to drop. So
what is that statement?
That statement is you're not going to dictate where you go.
Okay.
So we are in charge here. But me being the Browns, I would play by the rules that we have set by the league. Like, okay, if that's going to be the game, let's play the game. Let me get 2 elite talents. Let me trade up and get people thinking I'm going to take another position player and then take Shedeur Sanders. So why not? And you get him cheaply. You get him in a situation now he has weapons. He can hit the ground running right away. And he's already better than Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett.
And we surely know that the Browns certainly need their quarterback of the future. That is no question. You mentioned Luther Burden, so let's talk about him. Mike has the Titans selecting him 35th overall, and that is another weapon for Cam Ward to have. Is that the right move for them to start building? Should they go in that direction, you think, with that pick?
Football is an easy game, and I love that we're now getting these GMs and coaches to start thinking like, oh, we drafted a great quarterback. Let's go get a D tackle. Like, no, go get a receiver, go get a running back, go get something that can help him. You see the Patriots now are going to get a tackle in Will Campbell. So I like that Tennessee's like, okay, we've taken the quarterback 1. Let's go get him a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver. There's a great one on the board. That's where I would go. I think that's a phenomenal pick here by Mike.
After Travis Hunter, in my opinion, Luther Burden is the second most talented wide receiver in this draft class. He doesn't fall to this point because of what he's capable of. He falls to this point because when you flip on the tape, there are some loafing reps. There are effort concerns and route tree concerns that just from his sophomore year when he had 1,200 yards to this past year when he only had 676, he didn't get any better. And that's what falls him to this point, but this may be a blessing in disguise if he goes to the Tennessee Titans because Cam Ward's not going to accept anything less than max effort from his wide receivers. He is a stone-cold alpha at the quarterback position, and Luther Burden was pissed off himself that he didn't go round 1. He was in the lab, put the cleats on last night after midnight to go get some routes in to get working on his craft. This guy, former 5-star, thought he could coast in the first round. He's going to have a fire lit under him now. They dropped to the second round.
It's been interesting. There's a couple of players where effort and, lack of wanting to try too hard in college has been an issue, and everybody says, look, they're going to shape them up once they get to the league here. Let's talk about the Raiders, because that is where, Mike Renner, you finally have Shedeur Sanders going. And look, we had Damian Harris in here a little bit earlier, and he said, I think that would be phenomenal. Shedeur Sanders reminds him of Geno Smith. He could sit behind Geno Smith and watch him. For you, is that kind of the same line of thinking that you're on?
100%. I think Shedeur Sanders, this is the landing spot for him that makes the most sense. Because obviously Geno Smith, multi-year deal, but just very similarly tooled quarterbacks, both hyper accurate, but don't have cannons for arms. Both are mobile, but not runners at the position. And Geno Smith's a guy who came out with a similar trajectory. He was supposed to be a first rounder. He falls to the second. He, didn't handle it well when he did with the New York Jets. He can give Shedeur Sanders a lot of guidance in that locker room. Just for so many reasons, this makes the most sense. Wouldn't even surprise me if the Browns pass on him at 33, if the Raiders make a little bit of move up to go and get him because of how much of a fit this could be for them and long-term success for them if they have him in that locker room.
Remember back during the fall when everybody was watching football before it became the new football season in February with the Combine and everybody started watching football then? We all kind of thought this would be the place where Shedeur was going to go because of the Tom Brady connection.
They're close.
They're close. Two of them, along with Jeff Blake, along with all these NFL players that he has connection to, thanks to his dad, Deion Sanders, which is why he should have won the first round. But I'm off that soapbox. But when you think about this makes sense because at the end of the day, we just want Shedeur on a team. And I say we, as a collective football group, just want to see him on a team because once he gets on the field, then it's all about football, and we know he will do Shedeur Sanders things. And it's just about getting your opportunity. We saw this play out more recently with Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was the starter. Jalen Hurts got an opportunity and showed why he should be out there more so. And whether it's with this team or another team, all you want Shedeur Sanders to do is just be able to play football because we know the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see where Shedeur goes because he said, hey, this just fuels the fire. So if you're playing with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Let's go to another quarterback, Mike, and we were talking about Tyler Shough. You have the Rams taking him with the 46th pick via the Falcons. This is a guy that can learn under Matt Stafford, Sean McVay. Tell us a little bit more about your thought process here and this pairing.
If there's any quarterback in this draft class that's stylistically the closest to Matt Stafford, it's Shough. I mean, he has the sidearm throws. He has that quick trigger in the pocket where when pressure's coming, he's willing to get rid of it. Doesn't take a lot of sacks. All those things make him the perfect guy to go learn from Matt Stafford. Obviously, you're picking him at this point in time, and to this landing spot, you're not having him unseat Matt Stafford, not asking him to be a starter right away, which I think he could struggle at. But you've seen big improvements. I mean, he made, even from the years he was injured till now, he made a big leap this past fall. And if he's a guy who's willing to put in the work with his tools, with his mobility, he ran a 4.63 at the Combine. The guy can really roll. I think there is some untapped potential to him. Now, he is still 25. He is the oldest prospect in the quarterback position in this draft class, very reminiscent of like a Brandon Weeden, which obviously didn't work out well. But I do think if you're the Rams, it's not a really heavy investment for a guy who could pay off big dividends down the future.
According to Emory Hunt football statistics, right, Tyler Shough has been in college longer than Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was on air. That is a concern.
Is that true? Those are the stats we need.
Wait, is that true?
It has to be. Like, from 90 to 96, that's what, 7 years? Like, he's been in college in 7 years. We've seen this. Like, this is, look it up.
Will Smith moved in and he moved out.
Moved out. Like, the whole family moved out. And that's Tyler Shough. And then we saw him be healthy for one American season. Like, this year was the only year he was healthy for the full season. So there are some concerns. And I know me and Mike always joke about this, but him going to the Rams, Stafford and him may walk out at the same time. Like, this is like they both of age. But I'm interested to see how he does. And hopefully, and Mike pointed out how a lot of the injuries were kind of flukish in a way. So maybe he's past that, and now we can see him be the 5-star quarterback that we saw him when he came into Oregon, when he was supposed to be the one that took over for Justin Herbert, who's in his 10th year in the NFL. Not 10 years, I'm just joking, but that's poking for the Shuck's age.
Well, when you have the chili pepper,
I was just going to say the same thing. It's feeling spicy today.
A little bit of spicy fire taste when Emory comes with the chili pepper pin on his jacket.
I also want to know what American season is, but maybe one American season is what he said. We'll get back to that later. One more team, because this is going to be a curious thing to see what the Bucs do here in the second round. They got their wide receiver and Emeka Egbuka there the first round. And look, Renner, I was looking through a Bucs blog, and they're going to love you because you have them taking edge rusher Donovan Ezeiruaku, and they said, look, if he's here at 53, I doubt he's going to be here, but that's the guy that we want. So you're making at least one Bucs fan very happy with this pick.
Yeah, 2 guys on the all pronunciation team here for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
I tried really hard.
It was a big surprise in the first round. You did it. You nailed it. And Ezeiruaku is a guy who a lot of people had him play at pick 19, but he comes with play strength concerns. He's under 250 pounds. He really has not quite filled out his frame to the degree you'd want for an NFL caliber edge rusher, but he's got some of the best bend in this draft class. He's got some of the best pass rushing moves in this draft class. And in Todd Bowles' defense, he will be able to move around a lot, be one of those joker players who can rush from anywhere and still get the job done. And he doesn't need to be like a first and second down guy. They kind of have that already on that team. He just gets to pin his ears back on third down. And to get him at this point in the draft, I think it'd be a massive win for the Bucs. With
edge rusher being a position that every single team needs, I mean, is he going to be there, though, Emory, at 53?
We've seen stranger things in the NFL draft, so it's definitely possible, but this is a good situation for him because I feel like he's sort of right now one-dimensional, but that one dimension is pretty doggone good, and is exactly what Tampa would need, someone to go in there and be a hired weapon in terms of a pass rusher. He fits that mold to a T, and I think that's where you like that he played under a head football coach, that Bill O'Brien, that has NFL experience. He's kind of prepared him for this role. I just think this is a fantastic fit here by Mike.
Emory, Mike, we certainly appreciate it going through Mike Renner's round 2 mock draft as we are gearing up and getting ready and seeing, what team Shedeur Sanders is going to be on. The conversation continues on the With the First Pick podcast. You can download, follow, listen wherever you listen to your favorite shows, or make it easy and you can watch right now by scanning that QR code on your screen.